Well, today we're just going to talk a little bit about a good all-weather rifle that you don't have to worry so much about oiling it up and cleaning up when you're hunting in a place like Alaska where it rains pretty much every day. That'll be today's video on Refshaw Outdoors. Alright, howdy folks, welcome back to Refshaw Outdoors. And today I thought I'd talk a little bit about some things that in 2026, the technologies that have come out for all-weather rifles. Especially, if you're hunting somewhere like Alaska where you get dropped in the bush by a super cub, and you're out there in the rain and snow, and it gets nasty out there. I think, oh shoot, last year I was out there packing. It rained just about every day. We more or less lived in our rain gear. Anyway, this rifle is kind of what I would say is the modern, all-weather light mountain rifle. This is a Winchester Model 70. I forget what extreme weather. Okay, just Model 70 extreme weather. I think it's MB, but Bell & Carlson stock, so this is a little more high grade than just your run-of-the-mill synthetic stock you get on some of your budget rifles. This is a little bit better than that, and I'd say it's lighter too. And then fluted barrel, which I don't know if I'm a huge fan of, but I mean, it shaves a few ounces off the weight. Now this, for the finish, this is a Cerakote finish, and I think it's really nice, this gray Cerakote. Cerakote is a ceramic finish that resists rust, and I've just been really impressed with how impervious to the elements it is. It can get scratched up and stuff, but you use your rifles, that's what's going to happen to them. A lot of folks aren't a huge fan of the Model 70 Winchesters. For one thing, they are expensive. And they, over the years, didn't really get the reputation for the greatest accuracy. But these new ones, these are very, very accurate rifles. I've got one that was when they first started making them again in 2008, I think it was. I got one of the first ones that was made in South Carolina. They made them there for a while, and then they moved it over. They're owned by Winchester and Browning are owned by FNH over in Belgium. But they ended up moving the production of the Model 70 over to Portugal, which is the same factory they make a lot of Brownings in. So, and this one is a Portuguese made Model 70, and it's just as nice as the South Carolina made ones. One thing that's really nice about the Model 70 compared to, I guess, like the Ruger Hawkeye, is out of the box, these things are just butter smooth. Now, the Hawkeyes, you put about 20 rounds through them and they're just as smooth as the Model 70s, but so I guess it's not that much bigger of a deal. Model 70 is going to run you a little bit more money. But you know, one thing I'm really surprised at is they're not more popular than they are, because they are such good rifles. You know, control round feed. So you're not gonna, of course, it is possible to jam a control round feed, but it's a lot harder than a push feed. I think the Model 70s are the finest production rifles you can get. So anyway, I got a little off subject there, but I was just going to talk about, I've got tape on the muzzle here. This is just masking tape. And if you haven't watched the video where I tested all kinds of different tapes in a balloon and it didn't affect my accuracy at all, go ahead and check that video out. I gotta figure out how to tag stuff, but it's on my channel. I got a little bit of tape right here in front of the forend. That's extra, because you shoot a couple times and then you miss. Big old buzzards. Look at them buzzards. I wonder what they're looking for. I was just out here yesterday looking for sheds and I didn't find anything. That's odd. Anyway, but yeah, so I don't know if masking tape, I kind of, you know, electrical tape is kind of the de facto what everybody uses, which I didn't notice any difference in accuracy between electrical tape and duct tape or masking tape or a balloon. So but some people say that masking tape is the best because it's more brittle, so the air in front of the bullet will break it. So that's something for another, what do you call it, I guess. I got, moving towards the back of the rifle here, I got this cartridge cuff on here, which, I don't know, I had it on a different rifle and it's kind of loose, so I don't know, I might get a different one, a leather one or something, because it's just, I don't know, a little flimsy. One thing though, talking about when you're sheep hunting or moose hunting in Alaska, this is something when I was down in the lower 48 I never saw, were these scope caps. Again, that's for rainy weather. These are Butler Creek. The outfitter I worked for, that's what he had on his rifle, and I liked them. They're a little cheaper than the Vortex ones, because this is a Vortex scope, and I actually had a salesman, he wanted to sell me the Vortex covers for this scope. I was like, geez, but they were like twice as much as these Butler Creek. So I went with the Butler Creek, and I like how they work. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but it's got that red button. You push that and it pops right open, and then on both sides of the front one there's little tabs so you can flick your scope cap open. Oh, believe me, I've pulled up many times and looked at black and oh geez, and remember to flip that, and when you wear a cowboy hat it's kind of a bugger, but you'll see how it goes. Also, the scope caps, when they're open, if you're shooting downhill, I've actually had them I've had like a ball cap on and knock the ball cap off my head. So that looks kind of funny, which you might even see here because it was actually at this bench when I sighted this thing in. What else was I gonna say? Oh, I'd have to look it up what these exactly weigh, but it's quite a bit lighter than my super grade 30-06. So, but with a little bit more recoil. A lot of people compare the 6.8 Western recoil to like a 7 Rem mag. I have never shot a 7 Rem mag, so I wouldn't know. I think it's a little bit more than 30-06, but I couldn't tell you. I mean, if you want to get into all the Ron Spomer, he knows all the formula for figuring out what the recoil is. I don't know. It's recoil's recoil. Just deal with it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and find some earplugs, and then we're gonna take a few shots. All right, I found my earplugs, so go ahead and get loaded up here. These bags I got aren't the best for this particular setup because they're a little too low, which is kind of a bugger, but it is what it is. Alrighty, see, I got it on 4 power. I'm going to bump it up to, well, it goes all the way to 16. I got to bump this back to 100. All right, I got that how I want it. These are 162 grain copper impacts. I've got a lot of them. I don't even know if I hit it. I'd say it kicks harder than the 30-06. And louder too. Alright, I'm gonna adjust my aim a little bit here. Shooting a little low. But yeah, definitely kicks harder than 30-06. The whole idea of the control round, or the blade eject, is so you can catch the brass, but anyway. Yeah, so that's just a little bit about this rifle. It's for a mountain rifle, this is my go-to. I sure like it. 6.8 Western is kind of picking up steam and popularity. A lot of people are liking it. So anyway, yeah, that'll be today's video. I'm Pete Refshaw with Refshaw Outdoors. Keep your powder dry.